His name is Grax, his name is Grax. He's doing a vlog in the car. So, I suppose you're all wondering about this car, right? No? Well, I'm going to tell you about it anyway. So this is a car that Viv and I bought together, jointly. So I don't fully own this car. I haven't fully owned a car for many years, but that's besides the point. This is our Nissan Note. And originally I was going to get a Toyota Yaris. I've driven inside a Toyota Yaris before as a passenger. Andy's gone through several Toyota Yarises. They're a nice car. They're a nice fun drive. The trouble is, it was quite small, but Viv wasn't quite convinced. So we were trying all these different cars, and finally we went to a Nissan dealer. And we were about to leave with my mindset on the Yaris, which is small but fun to drive. And then we went to this Note. And this Nissan Note, we had a couple of test drives, and we couldn't argue about the fact that it was spacious inside. Very spacious. And we ummed and ahed, and we managed to knock down the price, and it was practically brand new, hardly ever used. And so we decided to buy it. And this car is a very sensible car. It is a bit of a boring drive. It doesn't really have much of a kick. The Yaris is a much more fun kick than this Note. But this is very spacious. There's a ton of headroom up here. There's loads of room back here. I feel quite spacious, and this is a small car. And the most important thing is there's lots of room in the back. Boot room's not so much of a big, not so big, because there's only enough room really for like a few bags and a few boxes, which, you know, it's certainly enough size for a shopping trip, but it's not enough to store all my recording equipment when I'm going to Andy and Michael's to do an AGM, so I can bring all my streaming equipment and my filming equipment. That's besides the point. There's quite a lot of space in here, and you know what, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly drivable. I can sort of get to 80 miles an hour quite comfortably, sort of. It's a bit of a challenge, but it's only like a 1.2 litre engine. What do you expect? I guess it's a little bit noisy because it's not properly sealed. But here's the thing, right? You might be able to hear the wind through the windows, and all the windows are closed. I don't know many cars where it's properly sealed and you can't hear the outside wind going through. So it's not really a big deal for me. And I'm hoping that this microphone kind of muffles the sound a bit, so it sounds better than it actually is. But again, you know, it's fine for that. And usually it will play the music really loud, so I don't hear them outside. So it's fine. The other downside for this vehicle, and I'm pretty sure this is true and it's not my imagination, it doesn't turn very well. I feel like when it turns, it's a little bit on the wide side, so it's kind of hard to go around those small mini roundabouts. But the biggest problem is like reverse parking. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't do reverse parking too well. It's like, seems a bit wider than I feel with other cars. Or maybe it's because of the fact that I'm used to big cars having a wide reversing what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like I'm used to the bigger cars, which seems to have a wider distance for reversing around, and with this being a shorter car, I expect it to be narrower, but that's not the case. The other good thing about this is it's very fuel efficient. There's an eco mode, and the idea about the eco mode button when you push it is that it saves fuel. And one thing I've noticed is this: when I'm driving around Oxford, just going very short distances, like we're talking like 10-15 minutes driving here and there, and I got an eco mode because in Oxford you can't drive very fast. You can only do the area which we tend to drive is between 20 and 30 miles per hour, and the fuel lasts a tremendous long time. Like, I barely notice it using up a quarter of a tank for like weeks and weeks. So inside the city it's very fuel efficient, and that's great. That's exactly what we want, because we don't want to spend a lot of money on fuel. The downside is when you're actually driving long distances like I'm doing right now, it guzzles fuel quite a bit. It's quite reasonable. Like, for example, we went to Stansted Airport from Oxford, and that's about an hour and a half drive, and it ended up using like more than a quarter of a tank, actually maybe even like a third of a tank, to get from Oxford to the airport. So long distances, it doesn't seem to be very good at economically. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want to go long distances, then you're going to have to be prepared to pay the fuel. But if it's short distances in the city, that seems alright. So what would I give this car? What would I give this car with the good things and the bad things? The good things being that it's spacious inside, it's quite comfortable, and it's small, so it fits parking spaces quite well. It's economical in terms of fuel when driving in the city. The downside being is it's a boring drive, it's very sensible. Fuel consumption's pretty bad when you're going long distances or quite fast. Reversing seems a little bit iffy. Oh, and here's another thing, it doesn't come with a reverse camera. This car was made in 2016 and it doesn't have a reverse camera. It doesn't even have like sensors, parking sensors to beep when you are getting too close to something. It doesn't have that. How can a car this new, well, 4 years old, but that's a standard issue from 2016. That's piss poor. The fact that it is quite noisy when driving, not that it's a big problem because you just tune it out eventually with your ears. So what would I give this car? I would give this car, I'll give this car a 7 out of 10. And I would recommend this car if you're a city goer and you don't really go out of the city or town very much, and it's just you and your one other person, maybe a couple of other people, and you just need a small something car goes around. That's perfectly good. I would recommend this car. I wouldn't recommend this car if you want something fun, or I wouldn't recommend this car if you need something big for transporting things. And that's my review for the Nissan Note. I hope that this has been useful. Come on, go, 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 go. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Trying to get this car going fast. It's a bit of a ball ache. Foot to the floor, revving it up in third gear, down to fourth, now to fifth, to get back to normal, just to overtake that Mercedes lorry vehicle transporter. This is what I mean by it's too sensible and it's, you know, not very quick. But it's fine. It works.